Hi there. Wanted to do a quick update on WhatsApp changes coming from Meta that are kicking in on the 1st of July. So coming quite soon now, following on from the webinar we did a couple of weeks ago. On the webinar, we mentioned that from the 1st of July, WhatsApp is moving to per message pricing. So the whole conversation pricing concept that they've used in the past is being dropped, and WhatsApp is really being brought in line with other messaging channels with a much simpler per message approach. Along with that, they've also said that, also announced earlier in the year that service messages were going free. Now, utility templates used within the service window are also going free. Very, very helpful, particularly if you want to do something like use the utility template as an auto reply, maybe to say you don't monitor the channel and direct them somewhere else, or as a automated response to particular quick reply prompts. Then those utility messages now won't cost you anything within that service conversation. We suspected some price changes were coming, and they have now landed, which is very exciting. And we think actually some of these are going to be really game changing, affecting authentication and utility. So those we're going to look at in a lot of detail. And then along with those comes a bit of tightening of the definition of utility. So all something to look out for there if you're sending utility messages. But let's have a look at the detail of these price drops. And that's what they are, is they are very much drops. Only in one market, Indonesia, have we seen an increase. But really, apart from that, there's been very widespread reductions in pricing to authentication and utility messages across the board, to the point that WhatsApp is now usually cheaper than SMS. There's also now some volume tiers. So if you're a large volume sender over 100K, then you'll get even lower prices than are shown here. So quite an aggressive price game from WhatsApp here. Let's look at the change that's brought in. Here are some example markets, and you can see in all of these for authentication messages, WhatsApp used to be, with the light green color, more expensive than SMS. From the 1st of July, all those prices are dropping to have the cost of an authentication message on WhatsApp lower than the SMS price. So really, if you're looking to cost optimize, it's now become the default channel. Similar sort of story with utility messages. So within Latvia and Estonia, utility messages were priced quite a bit more than an SMS. So often we weren't recommending it for that use case within those markets. But that is now totally flipped around, and they've brought the price down, and it's now cheaper. And actually, we've even seen in markets like Ireland and Finland, where WhatsApp was already pretty attractively priced, the price has come down even further to make it even more appealing. So really, this has been a real change to how we would recommend using WhatsApp. It's definitely become a channel that we would recommend where you're looking to cost optimize, as well as all the other benefits that it brings in terms of that richer content. People often see much greater conversion, often are able to meet their end customer preferences, wanting to be messaged on WhatsApp. It's very, very exciting. Now, I mentioned they're tightening the definition of utility so that these messages must now be very strictly non-promotional. If they detect anything within there that they think is looking to upsell or even just persuade people to do something, then their automatic reviews will now just recategorize that message as marketing. That's significant because the marketing message is usually quite a lot more expensive. So if you're a utility message user, it's really worth paying attention to how the message template is categorized once you submit that, and maybe refining it to make sure it is seen as a utility message. So something we want to make sure customers are aware of. Hopefully that's been a useful update. As I said, those changes are coming in on the 1st of July. If you're not yet a WhatsApp user and you think this is sounding really interesting now and you'd like to have a look, just as a reminder, we've got both API and dashboard tools. If you're already an API user, there's no new API. It's just a new request to the same setup you've already got. There's no setup costs and there's no charges for undelivered messages. So it's a very low risk thing to try. And we handle all the fallbacks. So we'll seamlessly fall back to SMS if a user doesn't have WhatsApp and we can't deliver to them. So what does that mean? If you send off to a list and you say, well, we're going to try sending WhatsApp first, any user who doesn't have WhatsApp that we can't deliver, they'll just receive an SMS as they would have done in the past. But for all those people with WhatsApp, you've now paid less. To get started, have a look in our support portal. The page is linked there. Lots of useful tips on how to get going. Or please reach out to me. I'll be very happy to guide you, or indeed your account manager. We'd love to give you some tips and get you started. Really hope to speak to you soon.